Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I'm doing a Stephen King movie duel between The Long Walk, The Shining, and The Green Mile. And before I give you my ranking of those three, feel free to share your ranking of those three, or if you want, just share your three favorite Stephen King movies. Now, I haven't seen all of the Stephen King movies, not even close. However, of the ones I have seen, these are my three favorite, and then Misery would be close behind, and then Shawshank. However, these are my three favorites, and I have very similar thoughts on all three of them for very different reasons, so I'm going to discuss them. Now, The Long Walk, I just want to say up front, I will not be getting into as much spoilers with it, because I actually have a video planned tomorrow of me discussing why it's my favorite movie of the year. However, I'll just say up front, for The Long Walk, I thought it was a great story. I thought there was a lot of heart and obviously a lot of emotions, but I thought the acting from Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Mark Hamill was excellent. I thought the journey you went on was really impactful, and I really felt the friendship and the betrayal, and I thought this was a great dystopian future. So yeah, The Long Walk was amazing. It is my favorite movie of the year, like I've said, and I'll do a whole video about it tomorrow. Now, how does it compare to The Shining and The Green Mile? Two classics. Now, The Shining, like I said a few days ago, is my favorite horror movie of all time, and I thought Jack Torrance was an amazing character, and I do love the story about mental health that this film tackled, and I do think a lot of the payoff was earned with Jack Torrance, because I do think the movie did a great job of showing him gradually becoming, well, the man he is by the end of the film. And yeah, I think the film did a great job of showing how he drove into madness. And I also thought the acting from Shelley Duvall was also very good. But yeah, The Shining, I just thought was a very interesting horror movie, and it is my favorite horror movie. And The Green Mile is one of the saddest movies I've ever seen, and it's probably the one of these three that I'm least likely to watch. The Shining is actually probably the one I'm actually most likely to watch of these three in the upcoming future. However, The Green Mile is an amazing film. I actually think of the three, it has the best acting, which is definitely a high bar because the other two have such great acting. But Michael Clarke Duncan and Tom Hanks, their performances were incredible, especially Michael Clarke Duncan, who, in my opinion, probably should have won Best Supporting Actor that year. But yeah, I mean, Michael Clarke Duncan's acting was just great, and I thought the story, again, like The Shining and like The Long Walk, was very compelling. And I do love how you see Tom Hanks' character. I love how you see his regret for being part of this, crew, and like unfortunately experiencing the Green Mile and experiencing the tragedy. And I thought the film tackled it very well. And I thought all three of these films were very unique and outstanding in their own way. They definitely tried to say something, and I think all three of the films did an excellent job of conveying the messages. So, where do I overall rank these three? I actually think if I'm going by my favorite and going by my best, it's actually a different ranking. So I'm actually going to start with which one I think is the best. I think The Shining is the least amazing of the three of them. Still an amazing movie. And then, and this is very tough, but I would say The Long Walk is the second best of the three of them. And The Green Mile, ultimately, in my opinion, is the best Stephen King movie. Now, for my favorites, The Green Mile is actually my least favorite of the three. Still, like, in my top 20 movies, top 25 movies of all time. So, just because it's my least favorite, I still love the movie. And obviously, I do think it's the best overall. For me, it might actually be a top 5 movie if I'm being objective. However, obviously, it's not one of my 5 favorite movies I think it's pretty obvious because, it is very sad, and I do think rewatchability does play a factor. This is maybe my favorite. However, it is still so good that I would still put it in my top 25 favorites, despite the fact it's definitely a movie I don't see myself rewatching anytime soon. But yeah, even though I think it's the best, it's actually my least favorite of the three. And then The Shining would be my second favorite of the two, or of the three. It's in my top 20, arguably in my top 15 favorite movies. So yeah, I mean, I thought The Shining was amazing, and I do love it. And like I said, it's the one I'm probably most likely to rewatch of the three. However, The Long Walk is my favorite. I feel like I have had some time to process The Long Walk. So yeah, at this point, it is my favorite Stephen King movie. It is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 3 favorite of the decade. And if I'm being objective, I think it might even be the best of the decade. It's definitely the best of the year in my opinion. And I'll do a whole breakdown, or well, I'm not going to do a whole plot breakdown, but I'll do a whole video explaining exactly why this is my favorite, and I'll go a lot more in depth, and I will give a spoiler review tomorrow. So yeah, The Long Walk is my favorite Stephen King movie, and in my opinion, The Green Mile is the best. But The Green Mile, The Long Walk, The Shining are all amazing movies, and Stephen King is one of the all-time great writers. He might even be the number one, which I'll admit I don't pay as much attention to the writers of the films as I do to directors and actors. However, there is a case to be made that he might be the best writer of all time. However, whether he's the best or not, he's still an amazing writer, and he made these amazing, well, obviously he made these films that were books, but then got adapted, and they're all just amazing movies. So yeah, Stephen King, I mean, right now, like, I actually I am kind of obsessed with Stephen King. I mean, ever since seeing The Long Walk. But yeah, anyways, that's my comparison of The Long Walk, The Shining, and The Green Mile. Feel free to share your thoughts on the three of them, or if you want, maybe share your favorite Stephen King movies down below in the comments. And I cannot wait to do my whole Long Walk review / analysis tomorrow. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.